This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. Incumbent Rizal, Cagayan Mayor Jill Rumor was shot dead during a campaign rally on Wednesday night, said the Philippine National Police. Based on a police report from Police Regional Office 2, Rumor and another civilian, a certain Merson Abagubal, were shot while they were attending a campaign rally in Barangay Alurusa in Rizal, Cagayan at around 9:30 p.m. Rumor was declared dead on arrival at a hospital while Abagubal was wounded but survived. According to police, the suspected shooter, who remains at large, managed to escape after the incident. Personnel of the Rizal Municipal Police Station then conducted checkpoints within the municipality, as well as in adjacent areas, to neutralize the assailant. The National Police Commission said 2 former police officers were culpable of conduct unbecoming when they verbally attacked Iloilo 4th District Representative Fudge Byron and the Ombudsman during a press conference in 2022. While both left the police force as captain and colonel respectively, the NAPOLCOM emphasized the culpability of Charlie Sustento Jr. and Jonathan Pinuela, who are now candidates in the May elections. In an order recently obtained by the Manila Bulletin, the NAPOLCOM noted that Sustento and Pinuela negatively impacted the image of the Philippine National Police as an organization that tolerates ill-mannered behavior. The NAPOLCOM order stemmed from the January press conference where the 2 policemen accused Byron of harassment and the Ombudsman of being corrupt. Sustento and Pinuela blamed Byron for negatively affecting when they were penalized by the Ombudsman for cases filed by the congressman. In a press conference aired live by a radio station, Sustento uttered a profanity phrase several times. By hurling profane statements and imputing malice, they failed to conduct themselves properly, the NAPOLCOM said. The NAPOLCOM noted that Sustento and Pinuela should have taken their grievances via lawful avenues instead of making unfounded allegations in a press conference. The Ombudsman dismissed Sustento from the PNP on the 20th of October 17 when he was found guilty of grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming when he allegedly pointed a gun to a civilian during a checkpoint. Sustento was later reinstated, but the press conference gave him another legal battle. Pinuela was suspended by the Ombudsman in 2022 after he was guilty of grave threats and grave coercion. Sustento was demoted to the rank of police captain from police major. When Pinuela opted for early retirement due to the Ombudsman cases, his rank was police colonel. Sustento and Pinuela are running in the 4th District of Iloilo as congressman and board member, respectively. A Sangguniang Kabataan chairperson was apprehended by police along with a companion during a drug-by bust at a roadside inn in this city on Thursday night. The Batuan City Police Office reported on Friday that Kenneth, 21, the SK chair of Barangay Maceo, and Baki, 34, from Barangay San Ignacio, were arrested in the sting operation. The BCPO identified both suspects as high-value individuals on the local drug watch list. The SK is a youth council of communities with officials aged 18 to 24 and elected by voters aged 15 to 30. Authorities confiscated 9 sachets of suspected shabu, weighing approximately 25 grams and with an estimated street value of 170,000 pesos. The arrest of these HVs, including the barangay official, demonstrates that the law is applied equally to everyone, regardless of their position in the community, BCPO Chief Colonel Rommel Villama said in his report. He urged residents of Batuan to continue their support for the BCPO in their ongoing efforts to combat the illegal drug trade. 3 police officers of the Caloocan City Police Station were arrested on Saturday for reportedly extorting visitation fees from the families of detainees, according to the Integrity Monitoring and Enforcement Group of the Philippine National Police. Inquirer.net has opted not to identify the policemen involved as this will still be subject of a proceeding, in compliance with the Data Privacy Act. But according to IMEG's Sunday report, the 3 arrested include a police major who served as the custodial supervisor and 2 custodial officers, 1 master sergeant and 1 patrolman. They were collared by authorities during an entrapment operation around 4:15 p.m. citing the complainants. Police said the officers reportedly asked them for a minimum 1,500 pesos fee for visiting their loved ones. Broken down, IMEG said the 1,500 pesos consist of 200 pesos entrance fee for relatives, 550 pesos fee in the waiting area, and 100 pesos for mandatory food for the PUPC, persons under PNP custody. The said amount is being received by their trusted civilian cohort, jail mayor, while inside the CPS in the presence of Caloocan CPS personnel. The report reads, authorities also confiscated over 4,000 worth of bills from the suspects. The Calacan police officers and the pieces of evidence were brought to IMEG headquarters in Camp Crame City for proper documentation and processing. In a move reinforcing the Philippine National Police's internal cleansing efforts, 15 police personnel from the Police Regional Office Davao Region are now facing dismissal after testing positive for illegal drug use, and their cases are now in the final stages of administrative processing. The initiative forms part of PRO Davo's ongoing crackdown on drug use within its ranks to reinforce the PNP's professionalism, integrity, and transparency in law enforcement. Regional Director Brigadier General Leon Victor Roside confirmed to Davao Media earlier this week that the officers had undergone standard disciplinary proceedings following their drug test results from random screenings initiated by the agency in 2024. Roside also noted that ensuring a drug-free police force remains a core pillar of the PNP's internal disciplinary agenda. He highlighted the importance of maintaining strict protocols, including frequent and unannounced drug tests across police units. Aside from the personnel involved, station commanders where these officers were deployed may also face consequences. Roside stated that those in supervisory roles will no longer be endorsed for future assignments, citing lapses in leadership and command responsibility. The regional director emphasized that accountability must be enforced at all levels, particularly in situations where subordinates are found violating core police regulations. He stressed that PRO Davo is determined to root out substance abuse and will continue to act swiftly against violators. Meanwhile, Roside also drew attention to PRO Davo's proactive approach, pointing out that random inspections are carried out regularly and have led to the discovery of erring officers in the act. He reiterated the office's commitment to restoring public trust by cleansing its ranks and upholding the highest standards of discipline. A village councillor and strong supporter of an incumbent mayor was attacked by gunmen along the road in Barangay Upper Lapirian and Ramon Magsaysay town on Sunday, the 27th of April. Edgar Apeo, 45, village councillor of Barangay Lapirian, Tucuran town, was riding his tricycle on his way home when he was stopped by still unidentified attackers who opened fire at 10:20 am, said Police Colonel Bonifacio Aranas Jr., Provincial Director of the Zamboanga del Sur Police. Police said the gunmen, who were wearing black helmets and aboard XRM and Yamaha Mio motorcycles, obstructed Apeo's route and fired multiple shots, causing severe injuries to the victim. The assailants escaped towards Tucuran Road. Rescuers rushed Apeo to the Zamboanga del Sur Medical Center in Pagadian City for immediate medical treatment. ZDSMC Chief Dr. Anatalio Cagampang Jr. said Apeo sustained a gunshot wound in his head that needed immediate surgery, prompting the victim's wife to transfer him to a private hospital. Aranas said the area where Apeo was attacked was a remote place with no cellular signal and 15 kilometers away from the Ramon Magsaysay Municipal Police Station. Jesrel Himing, Provincial Information Officer of Zamboanga del Sur, identified Apeo as a strong supporter of re-electionist Mayor Macario Tingson of Tucuran Town. Bulacan Governor Daniel Fernando suspended the provincial jail warden and jail guards for allowing persons deprived of liberty to go in and out of the Bulacan Provincial Jail in the city of Malolos, Bulacan, and appointed the concurrent head of the Bulacan Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, retired Colonel Manuel Lucban Jr. as the officer in charge of the Provincial Civil Security and Jail Management Office. Fernando said the Commission on Elections gave the provincial government last Tuesday, the 22nd of April, the clearance to impose a preventive suspension against the provincial warden, retired Police Colonel Rizalino Andaya. He said the suspension stemmed from the Criminal Investigation Detection Group Bulacan field officers' discovery of two PDLs freely going in and out of the jail facility without any court order. Fernando said it took several days before the governor made the move due an election prohibition on incumbent officials to act on such cases during an election period. Among those who were also suspended were 3 jail guards who have not yet been named. It will be recalled that on the 13th of April at around 5 p.m. in Barangay Daquila, Malolos City, the Bulacan CIDG arrested PDLs Abdua Arajalan and Mario San Jose after receiving information that they were allowed to leave the Bulacan Provincial Jail despite having pending cases. Arajalan was a member of the Special Weapons and Tactics in the mayor of the Bulacan Provincial Jail and is facing a murder case. San Jose, on the other hand, is the chairman of Barangay 11 Inches in their cell and is facing a homicide case. Both are members of the Sputnik gang. Escorts jail guard TJ Jimenez was also arrested for illegally escorting a detainee without court authorization, and Arajulan's wife Sarah Waheed for conspiracy, allegedly giving consent to the detainees to get out from jail. The CIDG reported that the four were arrested while on board a red Toyota Hilux, wherein they recovered a caliber .45 and a Glock 9mm pistol. The Philippine National Police dismissed 1,288 officers from its ranks for misconduct over the past year, the law enforcement agency announced. In a statement on Tuesday, the PNP said it resolved 3,611 cases against police officers from the 1st of April, 2024 to the 23rd of April, 2025. The cases also resulted in 172 demotions, 1,456 suspensions, and other sanctions such as salary forfeitures, restrictions, and reprimands. These actions reflect the PNP's commitment to maintain discipline and uphold the trust of the people, the law enforcement agency said in the statement. The PNP's statement came after a string of police officers were involved in alleged violations of law enforcement rules in incidents this past April. I want to make it clear that these officers made a personal choice to engage in wrongdoing. If they lose their work or face consequences, they are the ones responsible for their actions, PNP Chief General Rommel Marble said in the statement. The PNP will never shield anyone who betrays their duty in the trust of the people, he added. A dismissed cop and a civilian were arrested in Manila for allegedly posing as active police officers, according to a police report shared by National Capital Region Police Office Director Major General Anthony Abaran on Tuesday. The two people and their driver, aboard a vehicle, were intercepted by authorities at a checkpoint along Yachenko Street in Binondo early on Monday morning. The report stated that the two people were allegedly wearing police uniforms and introduced themselves as personnel from the Quezon City Police District. The officers requested the suspects to present necessary documents such as coordination papers and police identification cards. However, they failed to present any, the report said. Upon verification, it was discovered that the first suspect had been dismissed from the police service in 2022, while the second suspect was found to be an imposter who had never been a member of the Philippine National Police, it added. Further, according to the police report, a hand grenade was seen in the vehicle's cup holder, prompting the officers to arrest the two individuals and their driver. Police added that they seized a caliber 9mm pistol with a magazine with 15 live ammunition, a caliber .45 pistol with 11 live ammunition, a caliber .38 revolver with 2 live ammunition, a hand grenade, and 2 sets of police patrol uniforms from the 3 suspects. The confiscated firearms will be turned over to the Manila Police District Forensic Unit for ballistics examination. Authorities will also check with the Regional Civil Security Unit to check if the suspects had a Commission on Elections exemption to carry firearms during the election period. Meanwhile, the vehicle used by the suspects was taken into police custody, and 2 pairs of license plates were discovered inside the car. The suspects face complaints for usurpation of authority and illegal use of uniform or insignia, as well as violations of the Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Law in relation to the Omnibus Election Code. A former chairman of Barangay 435 in Sampaloc, Manila was shot dead in an ambush by motorcycle-riding assailants near his residence along P. Guevara Street. According to the initial reports, the victim, Leninsky Bakut, had just alighted from his sports utility vehicle around 5:35 p.m. on Monday, the 28th of April, when he was gunned down by suspects who were on board a black motorcycle. The Manila Police District said the suspects were wearing helmets with Angkos logos. Bakut, the second nominee and an active member of Ang Bombero NG Pilipinas, was rushed to the University of Santo Tomas Hospital but was declared dead on arrival due to multiple gunshot wounds. In a closed-circuit television, the assailants were seen exchanging fire with a responding police officer who lived nearby before fleeing the scene. Authorities confirmed that the injured individual is a police officer assigned to the Quezon City Police District. He sustained gunshot wounds to the leg during the incident. The suspects managed to escape immediately after the attack, fleeing the scene on a motorcycle. Witnesses reported seeing them speed off in the direction of Lacson Avenue in Sampaloc, Manila. Investigations revealed that Bakut was with ABP's first nominee Jose Antonio Goycia shortly before the incident. They had just parted ways to return to their respective homes when the attack occurred. Major Philippine, chief of the Manila Police District Public Information Office, said that an active investigation and hot pursuit operation are ongoing to identify and apprehend the perpetrators. He also noted that police are monitoring hospitals and clinics across the city for any individual seeking treatment for gunshot wounds, which could indicate a suspect injured during the escape. Ombudsman Samuel R. Matias has ordered the 6-month preventive suspension of Cebu Governor Gwendolyn F. Garcia over the issuance of a quarry permit in a protected areas in 2024. In an order, Matias said Garcia's preventive suspension is immediately executory and the suspension cannot be interrupted unless ordered by his office or by a court of competent jurisdiction. Wherefore, in consonance with Section 9 of Administrative Order No. 17, amending Rule 3 of Administrative Order No. 07 Rules of Procedure of the Office of the Ombudsman, and Section 24 of Republic Act No. 6770, Ombudsman Act of 1989, Respondent Governor Gwendolyn F. Garcia, Province of Cebu, is hereby placed under preventive suspension, without pay, until the administrative adjudication on this case is terminated, but not to exceed 6 months, except when the delay in the disposition of the case is due to their fault, negligence or petition, in which case the period of delay shall not be counted in computing the period of preventive suspension. The order issued by Matias stated, the Office of the Ombudsman acted on the complaint filed by Moises Garcia de Parin, who charged Garcia administratively for grave abuse of authority, gross misconduct, serious dishonesty, gross negligence, conduct prejudicial to the best interest of the service, and for violation of Republic Act 6713, the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. De Parin alleged in his complaint that Garcia issued special permit number 2024-09 to Shalom Construction, Incorporated, represented by Anthony James C. Limchazing, on the 14th of May, 2024 without an environmental compliance certificate nor a certificate of non-coverage issued by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or prior study or consultation with other relevant government agencies. The suspension was about the issuance of a quarry permit in a protected area, Matias confirmed with reporters. He said that this case is even worse than the Chocolate Hills Resort controversy in Bohol, as the damage done in Bohol is not that extensive. This quarrying destroys everything, and it's even in a protected area. Matias added as he confirmed that the affected area is covered by the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples. The Office of the Ombudsman has ordered the dismissal of suspended Albay Governor Grex Lagman for the alleged protection money he received, purportedly from Juteng operators, in an order dated the 28th of January, 2025, released to the media on Tuesday. The Ombudsman found Lagman guilty of grave misconduct, which merited dismissal from the service and all its accessory penalties. In the 20th of October 24, Lagman himself announced that the Ombudsman had placed him under preventive suspension. The case against the dismissed governor stemmed from a complaint filed by Alwin Nemo, a former barangay chairman of Anas Lagandaraga, last the 13th of February of the same year. In his complaint, Nemo also accused Lagman of dishonesty and neglect of duty and presented an alleged receipt by the latter of 8.1 million pesos from the 19th of August to the 20th of June 22. Nemo claimed the money reportedly served as payola or protection money from Juteng operations. Complainant argues that respondent, while being the vice governor and presiding officer of Sangguniang Panloloyagan, did not do anything to put an end to illegal gambling in Albay. The document reads, this, he did, in fulfillment of his promise to provide protection to illegal gambling operations in exchange for the weekly payola he received. It added, based on the Ombudsman's order, Lagman said in his counter-affidavit in 2024 that the present complaint was just a vilification campaign against him by his rivals in the upcoming elections. He also claimed that the deposit slips presented by the complainant are questionable. Although Lagman was found guilty of grave misconduct, the Ombudsman dismissed the dishonesty and neglect of duty charges against him for insufficiency of evidence. Former Calabo, Aklan mayor and veteran journalist Juan Johnny Daeng was gunned down inside his residence in Barangay Andagao on Tuesday night, the 29th of April, the Presidential Task Force on Media Security said. Daeng, 89, was known for his long-standing service in the media industry and was the President Emeritus of the Publishers Association of the Philippines, Incorporated. According to initial reports, he was shot by an unidentified assailant at around 8 p.m. and was immediately brought to Dr. Rafael S. Tumbacan Memorial Hospital, where he was declared dead on arrival. The Philippine National Police has launched a full investigation to determine the motive and identify the perpetrator of the crime. We are closely coordinating with all concerned agencies to ensure the immediate resolution of this case, said Undersecretary Jose Torres Jr., Executive Director of PTFOMS. We stand in solidarity with the media community as we mourn the passing of Mr. Diang, a figure regarded as a pillar of Philippine journalism whose contributions greatly enriched our democratic discourse, he added. Torres also extended condolences to Diang's family and friends, saying, his legacy will continue to inspire future generations of journalists in their pursuit of truth and justice. PTFOMS reiterated its call for vigilance and for the public's continued support in protecting media practitioners and upholding press freedom in the country. A non-bailable trafficking charge has been formally filed against former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, Cassandra Ong, and more than 40 others over their alleged involvement in the illegal activities of the now banned Philippine offshore gaming operator Hub Lucky South 99 Corporation in Porac, Pampanga. Justice Undersecretary Nicholas Felix Tai confirmed to reporters on Monday that state prosecutors have filed the information charging Roque, who is seeking asylum in the Netherlands, and other respondents with qualified human trafficking and several counts of human trafficking before the Angeles City Regional Trial Court. Lucky South 99 was raided and shuttered by law enforcers on the 4th of June, 2024, amid allegations of torture, human trafficking, and illegal scamming activities. Aside from Roque and Ong, Tai said Dennis Cunanan, the company's communications and government relations head, and Duan Renwu, identified as the top boss of Whirlwind Corporation, which leased land to Lucky South 99, were also implicated in the case. In an interview, Tai said the government would have to explore other options to bring home Roque and other fugitives once an arrest warrant is issued. He said these options include the cancellation of their passports and placing them on Interpol's red list. But one thing that Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Ramila told me earlier, when I reported to him that the resolution had been released, is that it must be communicated, especially once the warrant comes out, to the government of the Netherlands that Mr. Harry Roque is facing this case and that we will show that this case has nothing to do with politics. This is really about the crime of human trafficking, the Department of Justice official said. In a statement, Roque said, my inclusion in the charges, let me underscore, is just an afterthought. I was not initially included in the human trafficking charges filed against Ms. Cassandra Leong and others. He maintained that no element of human trafficking was present, nor was there evidence showing that he recruited, transferred, transported, or harbored Chinese or Filipino workers for forced labor and prostitution. Roque added that he would include the latest charge against him in his application for asylum as a victim of political persecution owing to my loyalty to the Dutertes. This is not flight as evidence of guilt but the exercise of a human right to asylum, he said. Mayoralty candidate Leonardo Babasa Jr. of Bayog Town, Zamboanga del Sur condemned the attack against his political coordinator on Thursday night, raising tensions related to the 12th of May elections. Babasa identified the victim as Hilbert Intong Pedroza, 33, of Barangay Dipoli, Bayog, who survived a gun attack at past 7 p.m. on Thursday. Babasa said Pedroza was with his 3-year-old son buying milk at a store when attacked by 2 unidentified men. Pedroza saw the gunman drew his gun hence he immediately ducked down to avoid the bullet, Babasa said. Colonel Bonifacio Arenas Jr., Zamboanga del Sur Police Provincial Director, said the victim sustained a gunshot wound on his right leg and was initially treated at the Bayog Rural Health Unit before being transferred to Margasa Tubig Regional Hospital, in Margasa Tubig Town. The assailants boarded a motorcycle and immediately fled the crime scene toward Barangay Poblacion. Police investigators recovered 7 cartridge cases and 1 slug for caliber .45 gun from the crime scene. The Bayog police were conducting an ongoing investigation to identify and apprehend the attackers. Babasa believes the attack could be linked to the 12th of May local contest. A candidate for councillor in this town and 2 others were wounded when repeatedly shot by 2 armed men at 9:40 p.m. on Friday, the 25th of April, in Barangay Bungadhir, police said. Wounded were Mark John Paul Tipon, 34, a candidate for councillor, Mark Francis Antonio, 25, and John Lloyd Duran, 21, police reports said Saturday, the 26th of April. The 3, all from Barangay Poblacion in this town, were initially brought to the Milagros Albano District Hospital but were later transferred to the Cagayan Valley Medical Center due to their serious injuries. Police Brigadier General Antonio Maralag Jr., Cagayan Valley Regional Police Director, said the 2 shooters were arrested in a follow-up operation at about 11:10 p.m. Also on Friday, at the town proper of the municipality, the 2 suspects, whose names were not disclosed, were caught in possession of a .45 caliber handgun with 7 bullets, a .45 caliber magazine with 7 bullets, a gun holster, 4 .45 caliber bullets, and a fan knife. Police also seized from them a pickup truck allegedly used in the crime. Prior to the suspect's arrest, the San Pablo Police, the 1st Isabela Provincial Mobile Force Company and the 201st Maneuver Company NG Regional Mobile Force Battalion 2 had established high-risk checkpoints and engaged in pursuit operations. The motive of the shooting was still unknown, said the police. That's all for this week. I'll see you next Friday with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.